Welcome back to my channel, Famous and Fabulous. Finally, the Chandler mystery has been solved, and it's not good. Ira was Jeff Chandler's birthplace. On December 15th, 1918, Gracel in New York's Brooklyn. He was a truly attractive and exceptionally gifted American, both a singer and an actor. His career took a significant turn. Mark on Hollywood in the 1900s. He was grey, was tall, with a deep hairstyle, and had hair too early. Voice. Chandler rose to fame as a leading 1950s dude. People adored both of them. He glanced and displayed his silent strength. Screen. His life ended far too soon. However, it remains a crucial component of the heyday of film. He was raised in a Jewish working-class family. Chandler liked the arts since he was a little child, despite his family's lack of wealth money during the Great Depression. Following his completion of Erasmus at Brooklyn's Hall High School, he attending the Fegan School of Acting Theatre in the city of New York. He was employed hard and never gave up. He was employed at local radio and theatre, improving it, performing and creating what would eventually fantastic career. When World War II was going on, Chandler served in the United States Army. The Aleutian Islands received him. His military service made him more devoted and disciplined. These were elements that will subsequently support his acting career. Upon returning from the conflict, he had a job in radio. People took notice of his unique voice. This powerful voice resulted in roles in films. He began with tiny pieces, and gradually gained larger roles in important films. The big break for Jeff Chandler came when he portrayed a violent thug in 1948 in the Johnny Olok film. However, it was his commanding performance as Cochise the Apache that made him a chief in Broken Arrow in 1950. Renowned. He was nominated for this position for the Best Supporting Actor Oscar performer. This was very unique, particularly due to the way Native at the time Americans were treated. His Cochise's appreciative portrayal was crucial to Hollywood's method of displaying characters from Native America. Additionally, it showed Chandler's aptitude and compassion as a performer. Following Broken Arrow's, Chandler's accomplishments made him a wanted man, leading dude. He starred in several various kinds and films. He appeared in adventure films such as Smuggler's Island 1951 and war films such as Meriel's Marauders 1958, as well as westerns such as Jay Hawkers 1959. Additionally, he behaved with large actresses from the era, such as Jane Marina Hora, Rhonda Fleming, and Russell Chandler had a reputation for playing those who were powerful but also susceptible. These were men who were challenging but emotional as well. In addition to his, Jeff Chandler was a fantastic actor as well. Performer. He produced a number of albums throughout the 1950s, when romantic music and music that showcased his deep, silky voice. His career as a musician wasn't as renowned for his film work, although it displayed his wide range of artistic abilities. His recordings, such as I Should It Matter, All I Do Is Dream, displayed a more compassionate side that was unlike the tough personas he frequently featured in motion pictures. Chandler additionally wished to work in the film industry and sharing behind-the-scenes tales. He founded his own film studio and wanted greater artistic authority over his initiatives. This demonstrated his willingness to more than simply being well-known and having a larger force in creating film narratives. This actors rarely had commercial acumen and displayed Chandler's large fantasies and a forward-thinking mindset. Jeff Chandler wed Marjorie, an actress, Hochelle, in 1946. Throughout his film career, Hochelle had worked on stage and in Hollywood. She had a brief acting career of her own before removing oneself from the limelight. Initially, they appeared to be a joyful and glitzy Hollywood pair. Individuals admired them for being attractive and appears in public. Their union provided Jaime Tucker was born as one of their two daughters. Dana Gracel was born in 1947. 1949. Ira was Chandler's birth name. Dana later utilized Gracel in her last name. The family relocated to Los Angeles. Chandler and Angeles first appeared to reconcile his rising notoriety with being Adad. But behind the scenes, the marriage had troubles The couple split up in 1951. Additionally, despite the fact that they're united, yet the issue remained. In 1954, they split up once more. Additionally, in the same year, Marguerite requested divorce, citing a damaged marriage. Among her particular grievances was that Chandler was constantly exhausted, to the point where that he would nod off in front of others or at gatherings, regardless of where they were. She spoke of a man who was extremely so worn out that he appeared to be absent, even while he was actually present. The challenging pieces from his acting career, like his long hours in the studio and on film sets work, were obviously detrimental to his health and domestic life. Despite their issues, Chandler and Hosel made one attempt more to restore the marriage and regain in March 1955. Throughout this period, Chandler continued to work consistently and remained among Universal's most lucrative celebrities. However, the reunion didn't endure. In 1957, while filming the Italian film Raw Wind in Eden, Chandler initiated a well-known relationship with Esther, a swimmer and actress. Williams, a glamorous celebrity in her own right. Their relationship soon made headlines, focus, and it became evident to his wife that it was finally time to end the marriage. Hosel made another divorce request at the year's conclusion, marking the end of more than 10 years of matrimony. It was notable by an attempt to repeatedly correct things, but was defeated by Chandler's professional requirements and individual options. In the divorce court in 1958 case, fresh information on Chandler's finances and lifestyle emerged. According to him, he was earning a nice living as an actor in films. With a Universal Studios deal to produce 2 films a year, got spent $60,000 on each film in 1957, and in 1958, $75,000 per film was a lot of money in those days. Overall, Chandler said that in 1957, he earned $250,000. This also included earnings from singing performances, as well as other agreements or public looks. However, he added that his wealth was significantly reduced as a result of distinct work costs. His personal manager, company together, the manager and agent, took around 25% of his earnings, plus additional expenses connected to his family, way of life, obligations, as well as career maintenance. Despite these expenses, the court mandated Chandler will continue to give his wife $2,500 monthly as a temporary assist. The last divorce decree in June 1959 was very expensive. Chandler consented to spend more than $12.66 a month for socks, in child support, plus $500 per month in alimony assistance, ensuring his ex-wife and daughters were wealthy. Additionally, he made $100,000 as a one-time payment, an amount clearly demonstrated the length of their marriage endured, and Chandler is still going achievement. When considering the conclusion of, according to Hotel, Chandler's marriage had grown increasingly preoccupied with his profession, to the extent that even his time business, work took up the offset. He spent constantly, when not really working on a film for his company, she answered, office, implying that he wasn't both physically and emotionally accessible to his relatives. Additionally, she stated that the strain of, because of her failing marriage, she got an ulcer is a visible indication of years of marital issues. Chandler's romantic life, following the divorce, continued to be made public pay attention. He had ties to a number of women working in the entertainment industry. Among them is singer and actress Gloria DeHaven. Their partnership, which was kept somewhat confidential, was disclosed in the renowned Confidential magazine tabloid of the era that concentrated on Hollywood scandal. In a trial concerning Fredo, a private investigator with confidentiality Tash said that investigators had pursued Chandler and DeHaven will collect evidence of the issue, demonstrating how forcefully the tabloid media pursued sensationalized news, frequently compromising the privacy of celebrities. That the most contentious aspect of Chandler's years later, in 1999, personal life arrived when she was written to by Esther Williams' personal narrative, The $1 Million Mermaid. She asserted in it that their Chandler was the reason the relationship terminated. had revealed to her that he was a transvestite after proposing to her. The assertion was startling and contentious, leading to new media attention on Chandler's personal decades after his passing. As stated to the Times of Los Angeles, a large number of Chandler's colleagues and pals strongly disapproved of Williams' assertions. Those that stood up for him included Jane Russell, an actress and close friend of "I've never heard of Chandler's," remarked of something of that nature. "Cross-dressing is the last person I would anticipate. He was a kind, unquestionably manly man," others in the entertainment industry concurred, with her incredulity implying that the assertion was either misinterpreted or made larger than it actually was. Chandler, renowned for his strong voice and manliness, had always displayed a powerful, stereotypically masculine screen image, asserting, especially, startling to the general population and to individuals who had collaborated closely with him. In addition to DeHaven and Williams, Chandler was also romantically connected with Ann Sheridan, an actress, another well-respected individual in Hollywood. Even despite the fact that the partnership was never formally verified, their relationship enhanced Chandler's standing as affable and sought-after leading man off-screen and on. Despite all of these, Jeff Chandler's personal highs and lows maintained a busy acting career, frequently performing strong, honorable, and valiant figures in films. However, the issue in his personal life, characterized by unsuccessful marriages, media attention, romantic issues, and unsubstantiated rumors, depicted a more intricate image of the man behind the camera. His commitment to his job appeared to have lost him his happiness, and people close to him frequently felt disregarded or overpowered by his fierce "concentrate on your public image and career." For many years, Jeff Chandler's name made people envision a deep-haired, silver-haired A-star who dazzled audiences in the 1950s with his strong on-screen persona and Deezy appeal. Having parts in traditional, such as Merry Ills, Broken Arrow, The Pagan Sign, and Marauders, Chandler Media positioned himself among Hollywood's most famous actors. However, there was a turmoil behind the public picture, an enigmatic sequence of occurrences that concealed his early demise and left admirers mistaken for many generations. Now, following years of speculation and rumors behind testimonies, new evidence, and locked door, should at last introduce the lengthy, simmering mystery to reveal. And what has surfaced is not at all like his admirers' lofty image on Securished. Chandler passed away unexpectedly in 1961, at only 42 years after what ought to have been a standard procedure for a slip disc. According to government sources, at the time, his death resulted from issues with procedure, bringing up a blood infection and medical errors, but information about there were concerns raised by his hospitalization. Even so, acquaintances, colleagues, and even his ex-wife started to wonder how could a seemingly healthy man get so ill very quickly under a competent physician location. Rumors of improper processes, staff negligence, and overlooked allergies started to spread shortly after his demise. At the heart of the dispute was Los Angeles' Cedars of Lebanon Hospital. Chandler underwent surgery in Angeles and never left again. The mystery became deeper with opposing reports. According to some, Chandler had been misdiagnosed, while others indicated that his allergic responses to antibiotics and sleep aids were terribly mismanaged. In a startling turn, the nurse at the time allegedly stated Sammy Davis Jr., Chandler's friend, that panic had been prevalent in the operation room after Chandler started experiencing severe allergic reactions and convulsions. It is presently recognized by newly unsealed court records and medical records documents indicating Chandler received he has a history of drug allergies. 2, specifically a penicillin-based medication. This fatal error in conjunction with inadequate post-operative surveillance resulted in his rapid drop. Instead of acknowledging fault, the medical facility purportedly attempted to conceal their errors out of concern for legal issues and public ire. To create a wall of quiet makes the situation worse, encircled the case. During the years that followed, business insiders believed a deliberate attempt by the studio system to conceal harmful information. At the time, Universal Pictures had made significant investments in Chandler's standing. He was among their highest-earning celebrities and one of the select few prominent men who might realistically perform heroic parts in a variety of genres, historical dramas, war films, and Western epics. Negative publicity regarding medical institutional failure and incapacity would harm Chandler's reputation in addition to, but might have significant consequences for how reliable Hollywood's golden age perception. Including an additional layer of Chandler's personal life was tragic, full with suspense and speculation. Whispers regarding his personal relationships, tight unions, and alleged extramarital affairs only made his public persona more difficult. His Marjorie, Hoselle, the ex-wife, publicly further interviews suggested that their Chandler's demise involved more than just the public had been informed, implying that weariness and emotional anguish may have increased his susceptibility physically. Friends pointed out that Chandler had spent a lot of time working on the film, settings, and appearing in person even when dealing with persistent pain. Thestrus, together with an inability to obtain the proper medical attention, produced the ideal storm. Recently, the introduction of online archives, accompanied by a resurgence of interest in biographical, has aided Chandler throughout his life. Scholars and film historians unite seemingly unconnected dots. Investigative reporters discovered medical documents that were previously believed to deleted, as well as correspondence from Chandler's close companions saying rage and sorrow over what they referred to as utterly preventable catastrophe. These revelations depict a situation rather than a terrible mishap, but of systematic carelessness and perhaps even a silent concealment intended to save reputations and reduce the risk of illness. The puzzle's pieces were released to the public through Chandler's efforts. Jamie Tucker, her daughter, who spent years silently requesting entry to her father's medical records, which were sealed. In a sincere interview, she explained the anguish of not being fully informed, the cause of her father's passing. He wasn't. He was my dad, just a star, she remarked, because he wasn't worthy of dying that way. Her perseverance was rewarded when a court order compelled the medical facility to release the documentation, demonstrating the significance of medical regulations were disregarded, and thus Chandler had a history of allergic responses before the operation. Now, with the riddle answered, the truth casts a sad shadow across the gorgeous front of vintage Hollywood. The story of Jeff Chandler's death is no longer just a sad account of a cherished performer passing away too soon. It's a sobering reminder that even the most brilliant stars may be extinguished by negligence, quiet, and a pattern of failure. While admirers observe once more, a lot of people do so with a greater understanding of the guy behind the responsibilities and with questions that remain regarding the number of comparable incidents that have been discreetly interred among the documents of history of Hollywood.